Ooh. Yep, went a little early. Not a lot early. Well, shit, I want cake and ice cream too, but unfortunately, I don't have any. No cake and ice cream for my birthday, which kind of sucks, but it's okay. Yeah, I don't have donuts either. I have some peanut butter M&Ms, and cookies. I have cookies. But good morning, good morning, good morning. TG and little Debbie, my Dibble, and my Halo Thief. And I was not awake for Victoria's pop up from Hawaii either. I watched. Oh, TG, that'll get you kicked off my channel. Oh, yeah. Weed brownies. I would definitely take those. Um, I was sleeping when she popped up from Hawaii as well. Get the halo back. I am very, very tired and I am not feeling well today, so this will not be a long live. However, I am going to do a live tomorrow at some point. I'm not really sure when. Unfortunately, it will not be a pop up from Hawaii. It'll be a pop up from South Carolina. South Clackalaki or whatever it is they say. But yeah, I'll do a pop up for my birthday. I just don't know what time. What, today? No. I need to go to sleep. I do not feel well. And it's not anything specific. It's not like I have a cold. It's just all over. Blah. I'm just drained. I don't know. Kakalaki, yeah. Clackalaki, kakalaki, kukalaki. It's nuts here. Craziness. My neighbor apparently grabbed my mail for me yesterday and brought it up on my porch. And I don't know what he was thinking. Yeah, I don't think so, TG. But he moved the chair. He put the stuff on the chair and then moved my chair directly in front of my door. I couldn't get the door open to move the chair out of the way to open the door. I'm like, what are you thinking? And I know it was him because I heard the knock, but there's no reason to get up because he's not staying. He just knocks and walks. And I could hear his little chihuahua up on my porch, so I know it was him. And I do not know the thought process. The chair is next to my door so that I can reach packages that get put on it. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, he made things more difficult because it was completely in front of my door. I mean, like I had to open the door pushing the chair, and these are kitchen chairs, so the legs are kind of splayed out a little bit. So the chair only almost fell over, and then I had to almost fall out of the wheelchair to reach around the door to try and move the damn chair to the side. I don't have a lot of room. I'm like, "What are you doing?" So I'm gonna message him today and thank him for bringing my mail up, but please don't put the chair in front of the door because I couldn't get the door open. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know he's not feeling well, so he's been doing dialysis and he looks bad. I asked him how he was feeling and he's like shit. I'm like, okay then. Um, so yeah, he the dialysis has taken a lot out of him. He's lost a lot of weight. So, but yeah, I mean, I know he was trying to be helpful, but I'm just I can't wrap my head around the thought process of blocking the door so I couldn't get it open. My door opens outward, not inward. Now, if the door opened inward, one, that would be a pain in the ass for the wheelchair, but the storm door opens out, so I couldn't. And scraping wooden chairs across concrete when you only have one point of contact, it's not easy. And then trying to reach the same thing, I was like, okay, this hurts. So yeah, my back is killing me today from doing that last night, but I did get my packages, so that was cool. Because I had tried to buy some nail polish from Ella, and someone in the chat paid for it for me because I told it's for my granddaughter. Her and Bella, or my daughter's boyfriend's daughter, have been doing the nails. So I I was getting them some different colors, and a very sweet person was like, "Bill me for Cody's nail polish." I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." So that came, and I got a package from Nikki, and I was at Two Old Guys Vintage and Resale, and they did giveaways, and I didn't win, but one of the giveaways was a Swarovski crystal slipper, like Cinderella slipper. It was very, very tiny, and it was so cute. And y'all know I am a Swarovski hoarder. I love Swarovski. And the person who won it asked them to send it to me. So it was very, very sweet. And I really hope they put a note in there because I forget who it was. And I don't think I wrote it down. I've been trying to write things down when people gift me things. And I've epically failed at this because I get so excited that I forget to grab the pen. Um, so, Tool Guys. Yeah. Hey, I have one foot we could try the slipper on. No, it's very, very tiny. It's gonna go up on my mantle. Oh, okay. It was I did write down the nail polish. That was from Shoekeeper or Shopkeeper. That was from Dee Dee. And I had a panda bracelet. I think that was from one of Nikki's sales, and that was Margie sent me that, but I didn't write down the slipper. So if there's no note in it, I'll email them and ask them so that I can thank them. Hey, MKT. Yeah, because I don't like people thinking that I just didn't acknowledge their gift. It's just very rude, and I like to acknowledge people who send me things, and this is why I need to get more organized with writing down who gifts me things, because it's very rude to be given a gift and then not thank them for it, even though you thank them when they give it, and which I do. Yeah. So I want to be able to, when I see them going, "Oh, I got it, and it's gorgeous, and I love it," and thank you. But yeah, the little glass slipper is adorable. I was like, ah, and I cannot remember who won it and then gifted it to me. So hopefully there's a note. So to all you resellers, if someone gifts something to somebody, please put a note in it. Most people do. Now Nikki didn't one time, and I was totally clueless on who gave me something. And she was like, "Let me see if I have it written down," and I don't think she did because she never got back with me. So, hey, Darlene. Good morning. It went awesome. Awesome. I had so much fun moderating for Susanna and Nikki. And I will be doing it again this coming week. And I will be moderating if well, Ella said I don't know if Ella said she wasn't sure if she was doing Tuesday with Nikki or not. Because usually she does Tuesdays with Nikki. I will be moderating that as well. So much fun. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was the little Swarovski crystal slipper. And I was just so stunned that they would give up Swarovski because y'all know me with Swarovski. It might have been, but I haven't opened the bag because the crystal is the little slipper is so tiny that I haven't opened the package yet. I'm gonna wait until my mom is here so she can put it directly up onto my mantle so it doesn't get lost because it is teeny, and I probably won't even be able to see it sitting in the wheelchair, but I'll know it's there. So if they did not put a note in the package, then I will email them and ask them if they have it written down who gifted it to me, so that I can thank them appropriately. Because I got the envelope and I'm like, two old guys. I'm like, why are they sending me something? And then I was like, oh yeah, the giveaway, the little slipper, and yeah, so I don't want to lose it. You know what I mean? That would be horrible. I would be crying. I really would. So it will go up on my mantle with my amethyst geode and my bears and my foo dogs. My foo dogs can guard it. And my obsidian tower that has my astrological symbols and stuff on it. I need a bigger mantle. Starting to run out of room. So, but I do want to thank them, and so yeah, I will definitely make an effort to find out who that was if there's no note in the packaging. Um, because I do not like to have people think that I'm rude. You know, I mean, yeah, it can be rude and crude, but I do like to thank people when I get gifts because it my inner 5 year old gets so happy when I get presents. Really does. Um, just to know that somebody was thinking about me, and or that they wanted to, you know, give me something to give me a little bump in the happiness department. It makes me feel good. Um, and I love gifting things to other people. I just usually don't have the money to do it. So, thank you, TG. Oh, sorry, tired. So my latest thing that I'm binging is not on Disney Plus. Actually, it's on Amazon, and it's America's Test Kitchen, which, yeah, definitely MKT. Um, and I have to thank the two old guys for that too. Them ancient guys, because it was a giveaway. They would have um, probably absorbed the cost of shipping. I don't know. Uh, America's Test Kitchen. They need more seasons on Prime. They only have like 3 or 4. And granted, the seasons are pretty long, but they need more of them because there aren't enough, and there are like 100 seasons to America's Test Kitchen. So yeah, step up your game, Amazon. Why do you only have a few? I love America's Test Kitchen because you get to learn about different foods, how to make them, shortcuts, and all different kitchen gadgets that I cannot afford. Um, I mean, Adam is the guy that shows equipment, and they tested strainers, like, pasta strainers, and the one that won was $22. On my budget, I cannot even conceive spending $22 on a strainer. Mine is my strainers are like the $5 Walmart specials. They work. I'm like, but this episode that I just started watching is ironically for air fryers, and I was like, "Ooh, I need to watch this one." So yeah, I watched her. The first, I got to see the first part of it before I had to go live, and she was making chicken sandwiches, like chicken cutlet sandwiches. I was like, "Ooh, I could do that." I don't have anything to air fry, so no. And I don't have any oil, like the spray on oil, so no, not yet. Although I do have, stuff on my I have cooking spray, French fries, Toll House chocolate chip cookie dough, and biscuits on my list so that I can use my air fryer slash toaster oven. And I can now make those chicken thighs that my mom got me that have the bone and skin because I don't want to do those in the crock pot. I really don't. It's too much of a pain in the ass to cook those and then morning Bobby and then have to debone them and take the skin off them first and stuff. So I can actually cook those with some garlic butter and bake them in my toaster oven. Woohoo! And I love them done that way. I used to live on chicken thighs like that. Just put a little butter on them and bake them till they're done, and so good. But no, I haven't been able to air fry anything because I don't have anything to air fry. Ow. That yawn popped my jaw. That hurt. That loose front tooth has been bothering the hell out of me the past few days. I've been having to use my numbing stuff because it's the back of the tooth is cutting into my gum every time it moves. So it hurts. Morning, Carol. Well, I opened up the connecting door again, even though the dog made a mess in there and the cats are being assholes. I can't. I got too used to being at a normal temperature in my room. And when I closed that door, I started freezing again. So I was like, you know what? I don't care if I have to clean up. I'll check it every day and make sure that there's nothing in there. But I I liked being warmer, because my comforter, this comforter that I got off Amazon, which had mixed reviews, but I was like, it's really pretty purple. I'm getting it anyway. Has actually been really nice. It's not a really heavy comforter, which is good because I don't like really heavy blankets. Um, but it keeps me really nice and warm, and it's not overly puffy. When I got my comforter from Walmart, when I got the king size one, it was so puffy. I was like, holy crap. I mean, it was great. I felt like I was, sleeping in a cloud, but washing it would have been impossible. It would not have fitted. I mean, when I got it, it was I was unaware that I was not gonna be able to do my own laundry or go to a laundromat, um, or not have somebody that could do it. So, hey Jennifer, good morning. So anyway, the queen size comforter will fit in my washer if I have to, and it's not overly poofy, so it will definitely fit if it has to get washed on a frequent basis. So far, we're okay. Um, but when your room is cold, like 60 degrees cold, and you're all nice and snuggled up under that blanket, under that comforter, and it's so nice and toasty. And you've got it angled just right near your face. It's not on your face, but it's angled just right so your face stays warm. I have perfected that. And you have to get up to go to the bathroom. That blanket comes off, and you're like, "Holy crap, it's cold!" Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that because it hurts my back actually. I know for anybody that doesn't have degenerative disc disease or arthritis in your back, that doesn't make sense. But trust me when I tell you, going from warm to, I did unblock the vent, but I only have one vent unblocked in my room, and yeah, it's not enough to heat the whole room up to temperature. So my room stays colder than the rest of the house. When I open the connecting door, I have two other vents that heat everything up, so it's more even. I mean, it's still cool, but it's not cold. Um, So yeah, so I opened the connected door. Besides, the cats wouldn't get off me. I'm like, oh my god, get off me! And they kept running over me again. And I'm like, you know what? Having to clean up a mess in the other room is way worth getting rid of them from being on me all the time. So yeah, I made an executive decision. Yeah, TG, your pants are definitely on fire, you liar. So yeah, I did unblock the one vent, um, but the other vent is still blocked. Although we are making progress towards it because it's over by the front window. Why they put vents underneath windows, I have no idea. That seems really stupid to me, but I didn't build the house, so it's not on me. We are making progress getting towards the other vent. We'll probably get a couple, at least two more totes out of here this week. Although she put my stuff that we took into, well, that she took into the storage room, she put it right next to my son's stuff, and I'm like, gonna need some kind of barrier between my stuff and his stuff because, well, of course you don't, because they all burned up because you a fibber. Um, if he comes over here to go through his stuff, he's gonna end up going through my stuff, and that will piss me off because that boy has the thought in his head that, oh well, if you're not using it, if it's in storage, I can take it. No, no, you cannot. Get your paws off my stuff. So there has to be some kind of barrier between his stuff and my stuff. That, and I think she put the totem breakables on the bottom. And I already have a broken china cow, so I'm worried about that. I also wanted to get the ceramic Boston Terrier that my aunt painted for me and take a picture of it and show Pam, mother of beautiful Boston Terriers. Yeah. But my family always used to get me the little. I have been an animal fanatic since I was a kid. So ever since I was little, for birthdays and holidays and things like that, I always my family always got me those little bone china animals that come on like a little card that you find in gift stores and things. And yeah, so I have little families. I have a little family of cocker spaniels. I have a little family of Boston terriers. I have ducks. I have geese. I had unicorns and rocking horses, but when my oldest daughter was 3, I gave them to her. My dad ended up, well, I would say he accidentally smashed them all, but he tried to keep me from getting to my daughter who was crying, and I pushed him out of my way because he pushed me, and I pushed him back, and he went flying through my daughter's bedroom door and smashed right into the shelf that had them on it. So they did not survive, which really sucks because the unicorns all had 14 karat gold horns. The paint that they used to trim, the the gold paint on those was all 14 carats. So I was pretty upset that my dad broke them, um, because I was going to check on my child and he wouldn't let me near her. And I was like, oh, hell no, you don't. Needless to say, I did get to my daughter and got her calmed down. So she was upset about her unicorns and the rocking horse, though, understandably. But I have mentioned that my father was an asshole, right? Yeah, Jennifer, it was not one of the best family memories. It wasn't. Um, that was after they stole my kid from me, and he decided that he could tell me that I couldn't be a mom to my child because I didn't have custody of her. I was like, that does not negate the fact that she is my child. He had mishandled her, and I had to go and make sure she was okay. And he got in my way. Never get in the way between me and my child, ever. It will not go over well for you, and it did not. Um, so My dad, yeah. That whole Enville might be a sweet Canadian, but that whole stereotype about all Canadians being nice, does not apply. Um, if we want the whole background story, I can do that. You know me, I love stories. We were going to sit down to dinner. My daughter had this little stuffed dog that she dragged around everywhere with her. And now she was 3 at the time, so she sat in a high chair so she could, reach the table. And the rule was, yeah, well, yeah, that's a good rule too. Don't get in Cody's way. The rule was that she couldn't have the toy at the table. But what she did, and I was about 10 feet away at the time, so I didn't get to her in time to stop my father from doing what he did. She climbed up into the high chair. It was one of those old fashioned wood ones, not the rickety little plastic ones you have now. So she climbs up into the high chair with the puppy in her hand. Now, my dad wasn't always there when we sat down initially. He would come wandering in to, eat after everybody was seated. And so what my daughter and I usually did is she'd climb up into the high chair, hand me the puppy, and I'd put it in the chair in the corner where it would wait for her to finish dinner patiently. Um, all my father saw was her getting in the high chair with the thing in her hand, and he went, "There's no toys at the table," and started screaming at her, which scared the crap out of her. So she starts crying. He gets mad that she's crying, wrenches her out of the high chair. Luckily, it hadn't had the tray or anything. We just pulled it up to the table, so there wasn't anything locking her into the chair, thankfully, or he probably would have broke her legs. Yanks her out of the high chair, tucks her under his arm, football style, and then stomps towards her room. Meanwhile, I'm going, put her down. He almost hit her head on a couple of doorways, and then stands about 10 feet away from her bed and throws her onto her bed. And that's when I went to get in her room because he walks out of the room, closes the door. I was like, oh, hell no. Because she could have bit her tongue. She could have landed wrong. She could have broken an arm. I'm like, you don't throw a child 10 feet across the room. I don't care if it is on a bed. I'm like, what the hell? So I tried going in the room. He's standing in front of her door. He hadn't closed the door all the way. If he had, he probably just would have broke the door and not her stuff because the shelf that her things were on, because to go into her room, it was like a tiny little entryway. So there was like 3 feet and then like a wall. That was the wall of her closet. And I was like, move. And he goes, you will stay away from her. You don't have custody. I tell you what to do. I was like, get out of my way right now. And he's like, and he pushed me. Bad move. So I pushed him back and he flew backwards through the door, hit the shelf, and then hit the floor. Meanwhile, I walked over, picked up my daughter, and sat down with her on the floor and checked to make sure she wasn't bleeding anywhere and that she could move everything. And she goes, Grandpa broke my China stuff. I'm like, that's right, he did. Um, you know, but yeah, so that, I mean, that was the full story. She was okay. And he went stomping out of the house, stomping out of the room, mutter about calling the cops. My mom comes in and goes, "Why did you have to do that?" I'm like, "Excuse me?" Um, and I looked at her and I said, "You tell him if he calls the cops, I'm nailing him for child abuse because he threw my child across the room and mishandled her." I was like, "I will countercharge." Nope, he wasn't drunk. He was just naturally like that. Um, so she running out there and says she'll press counter charges, and he knew damn well what he did would have gotten him arrested. So yeah, there was no charges pressed. Um, but yeah, he didn't get in my way again after that. Uh. There was the one time he tried to kill me. My mom actually stood up on my side that time because he was trying to choke me in the hallway, and I forget what that was about. But my mom tried to grab his arm to get him to let go of my throat because, for an old guy, he was really strong. And kicking him in the nuts had absolutely no effect. I'm like, well, I guess that means you're over the hill. Uh, and when she grabbed his arm, he got mad at her and he swung his arm back and he caught her in the neck. And she went flying into the door frame. And I was like, you did not just hit my mother. And I clocked him. I punched him right in the face because, of course, at that point, he let go with one hand. I could get the other one off. So I clocked him and he spun around in a circle like a cartoon character and hit the floor. And I told him point blank, if you ever touch my mother like that again, I will kill you and bury you in the backyard. And the look on his face, he knew I was dead serious too. I was like, don't ever. Mm-mm. Because my mom was in an abusive relationship before she met him, physically abusive. And it was bad. It almost killed her. So there was no way. I mean, he was verbal. My dad was verbally abusive, and I guess my mom figured that was the better of the two negative things. And really, I don't know. Neither one was good, but um, I guess she figured since she wasn't getting hit, she was doing okay. But I was not. I was not. My mother would put up with a lot. Me and my dad didn't get along because I wouldn't put up with his bullshit, whether it was directed at me or her. There was no way, I mean, my dad had a lot of insecurities about his intelligence, which he was a pretty smart guy. Like street smart, he was pretty smart, and he was an amazing mechanic. But the thing is he only went to like the third or sixth grade. My grandfather went to the third grade. My dad went to the sixth grade, and then he had to work the farm. They needed him to work, in Canada on the farm. So that was the extent of his education. And my mom was bettering herself. She was learning new things. She was learning computer things. I mean, this is back in the 80s, the 70s and 80s. So it's when, all the computer stuff started to make waves and everything. And that was all coming in. And um, when my mom learned, how was that system? It was really hard to learn. And I can't remember the name of it, but my mom learned it. She actually was going to classes. My dad was downgrading her the entire time. But she went to do classes because she was trying to get a better job, and she passed the classes with flying colors. And she did get the better job, and my dad continuously told her how stupid she was. She was also he was working in an auto parts store at the time. She was also making more money than him. So having been raised in an age where the man brings home the money, he had a lot of insecurities and he took it out on her. And I wouldn't put up with it. I would yell at him for calling her stupid. I mean, from the time I was like 6 or 7, I holy shit, Dibley. Yeah, serious inferiority complex. I mean, I guess he felt by downgrading her, he'd make himself feel better. I don't know, but he was constantly doing. And from the time I was a small kid, I would stand up to him and be like, "You shouldn't call mommy that. That's not nice." And as I got older, my arguments got a little more complex. We got in a few physical altercations, me and my dad. Usually, he cheated. He fought like a little girl. He had me in a full Nelson once, pulling my hair. My mom is telling me to stop. I'm like, do you see the position we're in right now? And yeah, so I was like, he's pulling my hair like a little bitch, mom. There's nothing I can do here. But that last one where I punched him and told him I'd kill him, that was the last altercation we had. He was afraid to do anything physical at that point, which is good because I was getting tired of it. Um, and I didn't really like beating up an old man, but if he's going to start swinging at me, he's going to get popped. I don't care who you are, how old you are. I mean, I travel around in a wheelchair. If I walked up to someone and smacked them, probably in the knees, I would fully expect to get hit back, whether I'm in a wheelchair or not. Hey, Carrie. Well, welcome. Or Carl. Sorry. My eyes are so fucked up. I just saw that L as an I. I apologize. Hi, Carl. Wow. I'm Victoria now. I'm renaming people. She's not here. Somebody has to do it. Well, I hope you're doing well in the UK, even though I just called you a girl's name. Um, so yeah, I mean, my dad was a piece of work. I mean, you did you think I was joking when I said he was an asshole? No, he wasn't. He was very racist and he was very sexist. He was the epitome of a racist male chauvinist pig. I mean, that kind of wraps it up all in one, you know. And for me, being a tomboy and being extremely independent minded, we did not get along well at all. um, yeah. Now the last 2 years of his life, all of a sudden, it's like he morphed into another person. So I don't know if he thought he was, if subconsciously he knew he was coming to the end or what, but all of a sudden he's calling me in Massachusetts and asking if I need anything. And I'm like, who are you? Because it used to be whenever I'd call them when they moved to South Carolina, I'd call to talk to my daughter because they had still had my oldest daughter. I'd hear him in the background going, "What you want now?" Like, to say hello to my child. Um, and then all of a sudden, I got a phone call from him, and he's like, "I just want to know if you needed anything. You doing okay with rent and utilities? Need some for food?" And I'm like, "Who are you?" And then they came to visit the summer that he died. Actually, they came up to visit always for 2 weeks because all of my other relatives still lived in Massachusetts. Um, and they were here, they were in Mass for 2 weeks, and I got to spend time with my daughter. And he bought me furniture. I was absolutely flabbergasted. He goes, "Well, I figured we'd go." He goes, "Your furniture's kind of crappy." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because I'm kind of poor, you know. You'd make do with what you got." He goes, "Nah." He goes, "We need better furniture." He goes, "Let's go to the furniture store." Hey, vintage hippie. And so we go to the furniture store. He bought me a living room set, which consisted of a really nice couch and a love seat and a coffee table. And he bought me a brand new bedroom set. He bought me a king size bed with a bookcase headboard and a really nice dresser with the vanity shelves on the sides. And I mean, it was gorgeous. I lost it in my storage unit, which made me cry. But I was I was like, "Susanna, my love, hello." And if Tina's around, to both of you, how the fuck are ya? Hey, Jessica. So that bed was awesome. Let me tell you, I love that bed. Um, and then when they left to come back to South Carolina, um, my dad's not the kind of person that just sits around now. Before they left, I ended up in the hospital having emergency gallbladder surgery on their second to last day in Mass. I had a really bad gallbladder attack, and I went in to get checked because it was worse than any of the attacks I had had before. And something in my head said, you need to go get that checked." So I had to take my daughter with me. Kayla was around 5 at the time, I think, 4 or 5. And my husband kept my son with him because he was little, and I couldn't handle 2 children in the hospital while I was dying. And he got in touch with the grandparents and stuff, and the kids' grandparents came and picked them up. But um, love you, Tina. Um, they did the ultrasound thing on my gallbladder, and they were like, "Yeah, we're taking you to surgery now." I'm like, "What?" So yeah, whisked off to surgery, and as soon as air hit my gallbladder, it exploded. So they had, the cleanup to do and all that. But they said that if I had moved the wrong way and that had burst inside, I would have been dead before I got to the hospital. So it's a good thing I listen to that inner voice once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Um, so my parents and my daughter came to see me in the hospital, and my dad was kind of coughing, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, because he hadn't been coughing the whole 2 weeks, and I'm like, "Are you all right?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's just altitude differences." And I'm like, "Okay," because Massachusetts is north, so it's up, right? um, my dad. So they got back to South Carolina. He immediately went out to fix his yard. My dad was a golfer, and had to have his yard precisely at a certain measurement. I swear to you, that man went out there with a ruler and fingernail clippers to make sure his yard was at the correct height all the time. And he started coughing, and he coughed up blood. So my mom freaked out and made him go to the doctor, and the doctor made him go directly to the hospital. And it turned out he had pneumonia, and 5 days later he was gone. And my mom never even told me that he was in the hospital. She called me after he passed to let me know he was gone, and I was like, what? Hey, Amy, how's my badass ninja? Um, so yeah, that was kind of. I mean, we didn't get along, and it wasn't like I would have been all mushy gushy. I love you, but he was coherent for a few days, and being able to be like, well, I hope you get better, and love you, Dad, and all that kind of stuff, or at least be able to say goodbye would have been nice. But she didn't. She's like, well, there's nothing you could have done. And I'm like, the emotions were not big in my family. Well, not for my parents. Um, they didn't really express. Well, you go, girl. They didn't really express themselves. They bought me stuff. I mean, they kind of measured love in dollar signs, which as a small child, I was all for, because greedy, hello. But in retrospect, I would have rather had a hug. You know what I mean? Once in a while, a hug would have been good. Um, so those people that say, "Were you not hugged enough as a child?" No, no, I fucking wasn't. Okay. Uh, but there was definitely in the argument of nature versus nurture. I'm fully on nature side because I am nothing like my parents were. We did not see things the same way. Yeah, I was just totally stunned by my dad's racial beliefs. I'm like, what? I never understood them even as a child. I didn't get it. Uh, him and my uncle would sit around telling, jokes about Jewish people and black people and a lot of Mexican jokes. And I didn't understand why they being so mean to a whole race of people. It didn't make any sense to me. And my dad was all, women don't do that. And I'm like, watch me do it now. I'm like, really? Watch this. Um, and one of the things my dad used to say to me to downgrade me, because a lot of things that my dad said didn't work, because I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Your reverse psychology, fuck you. Was that he would try and hit me in the heart. He'd say that I was nothing, I'd never be anything, and nobody would ever want to be with me because nobody wants to be with a nothing. And that one still reverberates. Every once in a while when my depression gets real bad, I'll sit there and be like, "Yep, laugh it up, Dad. You were right about one thing in your entire fucking life." Yeah. But honestly, I don't want to be in a relationship. I like being by myself. Although I could do with more company. Every once in a while, having someone pop in to say hi would be nice. Aside from my mom, there's a big difference between being alone and being lonely. And I'm good with being alone. Every once in a while, it hits me that I'm lonely, but usually I'm good. I'm okay. Um, I usually when I'm watching something and I see like a party, or like watching the test kitchen, they were talking about, when you have your party for the holidays, and I'm sitting here going, I sit here with my animals not partying for all holidays. It hits me then, but unless I'm in a really deep depression mode that lasts for a couple of days and then I come back, it doesn't bother me because I don't people well. Yeah, I don't know. Getting out of the house would also include a lot of pain, so I don't know how good those memories would be. But I'm actually okay with not getting. I wouldn't mind being able to get out and sit on my porch, because John and I used to do that all the time, and that way I could say hey to neighbors, and like the neighbors next door that said they'd come visit that I haven't heard from in over a year. Yeah, I want to spend time with her. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have is the past. Um, my brain is working at trying to figure out a way that I can make some things while I'm sitting here. Because I mean, I have enough beads to open a fucking bead store, man. And I have the stuff to be able to make earrings, bracelets, necklaces with beads. I'm in South Carolina. Um, I just don't have the workspace, you know. And bead weaving would be a little difficult because I have asshole cats that would totally be after that thread. But for things that, I use 20 inches of wire for, I'd be fine. I just don't have the space on my table to, you know, spread out my stuff and make stuff. But my brain is working on that. And with my mom and I try to clear out the stuff from my room because, I look like I'm living in a storage unit. Um, if I can, oh, there you go. If I can turn the bed like long ways, because right now the bed is kind of 4 feet away from the wall in both directions. I'm in the middle of the room. But if I can turn the bed so it's against one wall and I have space on either side of it, I can set up a workstation and the computer on the one side and then have the other side just be access to get out of my room, it'd be better. So it's a slow process. It's taken years to be able to get this house organized after the mess my son left it in. Um, and then try and get my stuff done. But I am working on it. Because I have so many beads. I do, and I'm like, what's gonna happen when I die? Who's gonna get all the beads? Do I have to leave these in my will? Because otherwise my son will just throw them away. No, well, I have workspace out in my studio. The problem is I can't sit in the wheelchair long enough to make anything. Um, my eyes have been still too wonky to be able to use my torch. And sitting out there and beading, I mean, beading is a long process. So sitting in the wheelchair to do it is not comfortable. And if I'm not comfortable, I can't work efficiently. So, but I do have space out there. Eventually, I'll get the cushion that actually fits this wheelchair so it will be more comfortable. It's expensive though, so well then use YouTube for fun. You don't need to use it to make money. Use it for fun, Amy, so you can come and visit. Silly girl. Um, yeah. But since most of my beads are still in my room, I figured I'd set up the well, it's Susanna, see, I would get in a vehicle with you, but I will not get in a vehicle with somebody I don't know. So ride shares and the Ubers and things like that I can't do. So since Issa bailed on me, I haven't. I mean, the wheelchair. My mom is gonna be 90, 91 in July. I can't have her try to push the wheelchair across dirt, which is my driveway, and she can't lift 35 pounds of wheelchair to put it in the car. So travel with my mom is not really a thing. Um, why can't I ride with strangers? Because I've been raped 4 times and I don't trust people that I don't know. It's a mental issue that's never going to go away. I don't know. Been there since I was 18. Now, if I had somebody here, like I have taken taxis with my son, but he was there. And now I'm more vulnerable than I was before because of having the, missing leg and being in a wheelchair. So, you know, it's a thing. And it's not, I mean, there are people that, well, you'll just have to do it. Yeah, that's not how it works. Um, when you've been traumatized like that, so yeah. So I mean, people that I know, I would have no problem getting in a vehicle with. Um, and if you're going to ask why I don't ask Donnie to take me somewhere because he drinks and drives, I don't know if he's still drinking, but I know his health's not good. He's not even supposed to be driving. So nope, because I don't want to die. I'm like, not ready for that stage yet. But yeah, so I figure I'll set up a bead workshop in my room where I can reach everything. And if I'm able to get back to making soldered jewelry and my metal stamping, then, well, I have a ramp to get down to the driveway. Unfortunately, they didn't do the slanted piece of wood at the bottom, so I have to go down the second half of my ramp backwards. Otherwise, I will come to a sudden stop. And as long as I promise, well, I don't know. You're kind of cute, Amy. But yeah, I do have a driver's license. Actually, I haven't looked at it in a long time, so I don't know if it's expired. But I do have one. I just don't have a vehicle. The state made me, or the city made me sell it. It wasn't in working order and it wasn't registered or insured, but yeah, I did have one. I'm really upset that I don't have it anymore. I still have issues over that. I'm still bitter. Um, if I go another year without being able to do my soldering, then I will probably sell all of my soldering stuff. Yeah, I don't blame her. I mean, yeah, they can run all the checks they want, background checks and everything, but those only come up with things that they've been caught for. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you could have a serial killer driving for one of those medical rideshare people, and you'd never know it if they haven't gotten caught. You know what I mean? So that's, and we did have somebody in South Carolina, um, in Dibbles area, I believe, that it was an older woman who took one of those medical ride shares, and the driver ended up beating the crap out of her. She was the last stop. Bye, Bobby. Love you, girl. Have a great day. So yeah, it happens, and it's not happening to me. So nope. It's a mental issue, and I understand what it is and why it's happening and why it's there. And I mean, I fully acknowledge it. I am perfectly capable of doing self-analysis psychologically, but that doesn't change the feeling. You know? Yeah, it is scary. I mean, your life is in someone else's hands. They can do whatever. You know? Yep. Yep. So it's a scary world we live in. I mean, there was a family of in California, a family of what, 7 or 8 people, including like an 18-month-old baby, and they were all massacred. I don't know if they caught who did it yet, but I mean, the entire family was killed. What the fuck? Why would you kill an 18-month-old baby? What's that baby gonna? I mean, it could grow up and come after you, but still, I mean, what did it look at you funny? What the fuck? I don't get that, and I don't get people who kill their own family members at all. Yeah, probably Jennifer. Um, there was an episode, one of those crime shows, um, where a taxi driver had a special vent that he put in the back of his car, and it would pump gas into the vent and knock the fare out, and then he was murdering women by kidnapping them that way. And I'm like, yeah. And see, this is why, you know, like, no. You're good. So yeah, I mean, it is a psychological issue, and I don't know if some kind of therapy would actually do any good, because I did talk to my counselor about it when DSS made me go to counseling, which was completely pointless. But we talked about everything and anything, and I did talk to him about the rapes and everything, and he said that um, the fact that I self-analyzed and I know exactly where the fear comes from, and the inability to actually make it, get in a car with a stranger. I'm acknowledging that. He goes, and that's the main part of it. He goes, but if you can't get beyond that, there's nothing that anybody else can do except you to be able to move you beyond that point. So Yeah, we're not moving beyond that point. The only strangers I've arrived with at this point are ambulance drivers, and I know pretty much all of them anyway because they've all been here to help me off the porch before I got the ramp. Um, but I do have a really big ramp on my house. It's a double ramp, so it comes down from my porch, and then there's a landing, and then there's the second part of it that goes down to the driveway. And like I said, the problem is my driveway is dirt, and there's a lip at the bottom of it, so the little wheels on the wheelchair, um, they would stop dead, and I would face plant in the driveway, which there's no dignity in that. Let me assure you. See if I can share it without my computer freezing up on me. So this right here is the second half of my ramp. As you can see, the first part is up to the right. So I would have to come down that backwards. Yeah. And then I mean I can manipulate the wheelchair if it hasn't been raining, I could manipulate backwards across my driveway to get to whatever vehicle, but my driveway is dirt. So it's one, it would be very painful for me to do that. And two, somebody else pushing me in it would have to have quite a bit of strength because I'm not a small person. So you're, shoving 300 pounds across dirt in a wheelchair. It's not an endeavor anybody wants to do. Um, so yeah, I do have the ramp though to get out, and I can get out of my door, but the lip on my door frame is kind of high, so I can't get back in unless I come backwards and someone is pulling me backwards through the door. So that's why I can't get on my porch. Yeah. Well, Jennifer, for people that don't have the trauma or that have been able to get past it, that works. But that you got to do what you got to do does not apply to my brain. Morning, Susie. Yeah, Dibble. I mean, that could happen in any vehicle that you're in, and three-quarters of the people in South Carolina, Dibble, I'm sure can attest to, have been drinking. It's just a thing here. They drink and drive all the time. Um, but I mean, like I would never get in a big rig again either. Um, I was when I was 18, I was talking to truckers, and normally everything's fine. We're getting along great, and everything's copacetic. And all of a sudden, this big rig, he tracked my signal. Big rig pulls up, and he's like, come talk to me, da 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 da. And nothing was mentioned about anything sexual or anything like that. And I'm thinking, well, I've been talking to him for like an hour, so cool. Yeah, that didn't work out so well. Hey, Christy, because I got raped at gunpoint in a Cisco truck. So, yeah. And I had another Cisco truck at another point in time block me in, and the guy jumped through my driver's side door. He just comes walking over, pulls open my driver's side door, and jumped on me. Luckily, I was holding the mic in my hand, and it was keyed up. And I was like, "Oh hell no, you didn't!" And I smashed him in the face with the mic. And every trucker in the truck stop heard it. And that man got his ass kicked by 12 truckers, rolled into the passenger side of his truck, and they moved his truck down out of the rest area and onto the side of the road. And they gave me a replacement mic because mine was broken. And so I had a dual good and bad on that one because, and again, it was another Cisco driver. I'm like, what kind of people are you guys hiring? Um, but the other truckers saved my ass and they beat the shit out of him. They all apologized. They all made sure I was okay, and that was redeem. I wasn't getting in any of their trucks, but I definitely felt better after that. But yeah, I will never get in a big rig with anybody I don't know either. I mean, you sit there, you talk to people daily, and you think that you know them, and then you get in a vehicle with them, and they try to kill you. I'm like, no. So yeah, Jennifer, I had a counselor. Talked to him about everything because there was, I mean, social services made me go to see a counselor as part of the family program. I was supposed to see a counselor. My son was supposed to see one, and my daughter was supposed to see one. Then we were supposed to have group counseling as a way of trying to, pull the family back together. Well, I went to all of my counseling sessions. My counselor did not understand why social services thought I needed counseling. Um, and They didn't have the kids do counseling. And then my daughter refused to do any kind of group counseling. So that just kind of blew that apart. But, well, the counselor that I went to, he still does some work on the side, but mostly he works for the VA, counseling people with PTSD and things like that. So, well, Susanna, you set it up and I'll be there. But I mean, like I said, I acknowledge it. I know why it's there. I know why I don't get in a vehicle with people. It's just not going to make it so that I will, So, yeah, Dibble, it might be worth a risk for some people. It's not for me. I mean, would it be nice to get out once in a while? Yeah, it'd be nice. I haven't been to a store in 3 years or three or more years. Um, I won't get mad at you, Susanna. Silly. Um, yeah, but it's not. I mean, like I said, the biggest thing is getting on the porch. I would love to be able to get on the porch. Hey, Anvil, how the fuck are ya? My Canadian girl. Yeah, I like my house though. Actually, I mean, it would be nice if the floors were a little smoother, because that's a pain in the ass with a wheelchair. But I actually like my house, and I like living in my house by myself. There are a few things that I can't do that irritate me, but you know, my mom's brilliant idea of taking my laundry to her house to do went over really well until she didn't bring it back last week. Uh, she was so concentrating on getting the my birthday present in the car that she forgot my laundry, which is okay. But because yeah, my mom got me a air fryer slash toaster oven so I can bake, broil, toast, and air fry, which is awesome. Because I haven't been able to use my oven in like 2 years because of the angle. It's not worth risking a burn or dropping my food on the floor. Um, so I haven't been able to bake anything, and that drives me crazy. So I'll be able to. I mean, I won't be able to bake, huge batches of cookies, but if I get those breakaway cookie dough things, the little squares, I can bake, I think, like 6 of them on the little baking tray. That's enough. I don't own any, PG. Morning, Bonnie. So, yeah. I was all excited. I would have been more excited if she had brought me some French fries too, so that I could cook them. I miss French fries. It's on the list. Um, yeah. And hey, I can make sausage and biscuits, such as sausage biscuit gravy, because I can make biscuits now. Woohoo! Yeah, my world just opened up a little bit, which is nice. You have Welsh fries. uh, Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any place to go that I want to go anyway. Um, I don't have any friends here, so my friends are all online, and I don't think anybody's going to want to drive that far, to go see somebody. The prosthetic place wants like 2 grand before I go back there again, so that's not happening. So, and it's weird because I used to be a full out social butterfly. When I lived in Massachusetts, I was out of my house all the time, hanging out with my CBer friends or whatever. We were constantly at someone else's house or sitting in a parking lot. Or um, I've lived in South Carolina since 2000, Mother's Day actually of 2000. We got lost when we got here. I had to call my mom at 2 o'clock in the morning on Mother's Day, going, "Okay, this is where we are. Come get us." She was not happy. But we had a couple of friends when John was working for Grease Monkey, when he was working at the oil change place. But they all turned out they were all into some pretty heavy drugs, and they drank a lot, and I wasn't having none of that. So, um, then when I was working at Walmart, I couldn't have any friends that worked there. Nope. Well, I've been out of my house since then, but when I worked at Walmart, we couldn't have friends that we worked with because I worked loss prevention. So, I mean, I wasn't even allowed to be friends with management. I could have like a meal with them like twice a month, and that was the limit because they had too many past experiences of people buddying up to loss prevention and then doing something hinky and getting away with it because they were friends with the loss prevention people. So you weren't allowed to be friends with anyone, hang outside of work or any of it. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'd go to stores and stuff, but all of the friends John had were usually from jail. So he didn't really want them associating with me and the kids. And yeah, there was just, oh, thank you. I appreciate you too. There's now people doing egg smuggling. Okay, Jimmy Fallon was talking about that on his show last night. That they're actually egg smugglers. I'm like, oh my god. I mean, he made a joke out of it. He goes, "Well, you can tell the egg smugglers because they're the ones going really slow over the speed bumps." Yeah, but I was the security, so I couldn't make friends with the cashiers. I mean, there were a few I got kind of close to at work. There was one girl I had to do bodyguard work for her and walk her out to her car at night. She worked in the photo lab, and her boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend, was like stalking her. And he showed up in the store. I had to kick him out. And then him and a few of his friends were outside, and it was like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night. So um, I I had to walk her out to her car. I joked around with her, told her I charged $50 an hour for bodyguard work. Yeah, well, they had an incident in a few stores where management or associates were friends with loss prevention, and then they were shoplifting and just walking right out the door with loss prevention standing right there, ignoring it because they were friends. So, you know, I can understand the concept. I mean, I understand the reasoning behind it. Um, and then I was working loss prevention when I became fully disabled. So then, yeah, there wasn't really. um, and I mean, it just I was going to go to a jewelry making class. It was a precious metal clay class at the local bead store that we had here, but because they had it advertised all over the place downtown, and but it was $150. and I didn't have that to spend on a social hour. So, you know, well, Jennifer, normally nobody does, but it was a job situation, and I understood the reason behind it. I mean, they didn't even really want, if you had a partner, really didn't even want you hanging out with your partner. I did, but because then one partner could close their eyes to another partner's indiscretions, accidentally erase that part of the video footage, that kind of thing. We had managers that were doing their own returns. He was not happy when I busted him. It can get very complicated and messy, you know. I mean, John helped me bust the TLE manager from his store because he was store using things and then selling them to people outside the company at a discounted rate. But he had store used them, so none of that money was going to the store. He store used 3 floor jacks. Now TLE has lifts; they don't need floor jacks, but he store used 3 of them and then sold them to a buddy of his that owns a garage. So John was like, "I don't get it," and I was like, "He did what now?" And he told me, and I was like, "Huh." So I let my boss know. That manager was an asshole too. He was a complete dick. When John got hurt and I brought in the doctor's note saying he couldn't work for a week, the guy accused me of printing it up on my own computer and lying about John because he just wanted time off. I was like, "You're telling me what now?" And he did it in front of customers. Very unprofessional. I'm like, "Nope." So yeah, they found out that he had store used cases of windshield washer fluid and antifreeze. Now the TLE gets shipments of these things for TLE use, so they don't need it off the floor. And he was doing tires, which are hugely expensive. Why do you store use a tire? But the people in the cashier office or the return place, whoever was in charge of this kind of crap, they just weren't paying attention. They were just signing off on it. They weren't really reading what he was doing. So my boss went in and said, "I need all the records for TLE's store use." And they were like, okay. And they handed him a stack of papers. And 3 days later, that man got transferred to Georgia where there was no TLE. And about a week later, he got fired from there for store use and stuff and selling it to somebody down there. So yeah, he was an asshole. But oh no, Jennifer. Okay. So yeah, I mean, and I just never honestly ran into anybody. I mean, I'm friends with my neighbors, but we don't hang out. I'd say I'm friendly with the neighbors. I mean, even Donnie doesn't stay and talk. I mean, I asked him how he was feeling. He was like shit, and walked away. So, I very rarely have a conversation with him. Luke, I have more of a conversation with the guy that put the kennel together for me and that mows my lawn. I have more of more conversations with him than anybody else. Usually about Caesar, about Simi's boyfriend there, who is now closer. They can almost touch noses. I mean, there's like 6 inches of space because he moved the tie out. Um, Caesar really wants to breach those 6 inches. Let me tell you, he strains at that collar. He's like, collar break. Let me go see my girl. Um, and Simi's a little tease because she'll run over and wagging her tail, and she'll crouch down, like her front end crouch down, her ass up in the air, wagging her tail, like play with me, and then she'll shoot inside the house, like see you later, bye. And Caesar's standing there going, huh? It's so funny. My girl's a little hoe. Bye, Jessica. Have a great day. So I mean, I never met people anywhere that I wanted to hang out with. Um, and then being disabled and stuff, it just hurt too much to walk around or go places. And that's why I was going to do that jewelry class, but $150, man. I mean, it did include all, they had all the tools and the clay and everything, but there was also an extra $25 charge for putting your things in the kiln. So it would have actually been $175. And I'm like, and then the bead store shut down. They're not there anymore. But Um, yeah. And John actually met a couple of people that were pagan in the area, um, that he introduced me to, and they were so flaky. I couldn't handle it. I'm like, no, this is too dumb for me. I can't deal with this because they were Wiccan to the extreme. What other pagans would call a fluffy little bunny. They thought that the world was full of rainbows and unicorns and buttercups and yeah, no. Um, so yeah, they took that harm none thing way too far, and that's just not me. I mean, if a bitch slaps me, they're getting punched in the throat. Well, at this point, they'd get punched in the knee, but they're getting hurt. Yeah, and angels, fake ones like you. Um, so on a social basis, I couldn't deal with it. Now I did meet a few online, um, in the AOL pagan chat rooms, which I still have friendships with. One of them is my birthday twin. I actually have to message her tomorrow and wish her happy birthday because she has the same birthday as me, and she's in North Carolina. And I have met her in person, and her kids and her ex husband, and she's so sweet. The only thing we don't get along on is politics, so we have a rule that we do not discuss it at all. But she is one person, because they always say don't discuss religion or politics, but she's actually someone I can discuss religion with, which is nice. So, but we stay away from the political aspect of it. Um, like we go to extremes to avoid talking about politics. So, but she's sweet. Her name's Rebecca, and she lives in North Carolina, and she's my birthday twin. Um, but just in person, there's just I don't know. I've never met anybody here that I wanted to hang out with. I don't know if it's a cultural thing or I don't know. I mean, I thought I got along with the girl next door with Sarah, but after she pulled I didn't know you were alone for the holidays. I would have brought you over something to eat, and I'll come over and have coffee. And thank you, Darlene. Come over and have coffee with you. And I'm like, well, bring your own coffee because I don't have any. I never heard from her again, and that was a year ago. So apparently, I'm not that good of friends with her. I thought we got along fine. Um, I mean, I know she's got her own thing going on, grandkids, and her kids are kind of like TG. They're not angels. A lot of drama, but when you tell somebody that you'll stop by, especially someone in my situation, that they know is living alone and that someone comes here once a week. My mom comes once a week. When you know that, don't make promises that you're not going to keep. I cannot stand that. I can't. I hate that. Don't tell me you're going to come see me because I'm going to look forward to it, and then it's not going to happen, and I'm eventually going to get very fucking bitter about it, which is kind of what has happened. You know what I mean? I'm like, so yeah. Um, I've had someone Santa comes once a year. I've had someone twice now while I was moderating ask me to put my PayPal in because they wanted to send me something. Now people are not under any obligation to do so, but I thought that was a very sweet gesture, and so I put my PayPal in and nothing. I'm like, okay, well, apparently either something went wrong, or they forgot, or whatever. So I just kind of ignored it, and then they asked me again, like a week later, if I could put my PayPal in again. And so I did, and still nothing. Don't make me expect something if it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I was like, okay, why do you keep asking me for my PayPal if you're not going to do anything with it? I didn't understand. So yeah, there was that. Ooh, beef stew, yummy. So yeah, and I mean they're not under any obligation, but when they do stuff, when someone does something like that, it's like, hey, can I have your PayPal? I want to send you something. They're basically telling you they're sending you money, and then they don't, and you're kind of like, why are you telling me you're doing it when you're not? I don't get it, you know. So, well, I'm sure it will come out delicious, Darlene. There's a woman that I watch. She's kind of flaky, but she makes a lot of one pot meals and crock pot meals. The hell's her name? She hasn't posted anything lately. Let me see if I can find her. She has some really good recipes, though. Of course, I have 345 freaking subscriptions. Julia Pacheco, Pacheco. Um, she does a lot of. Let's see, on her homepage, she's got a few of the videos: $5 dinners, dump and go casserole, tried and true one pot meals, dump and go crock pot breakfast ideas. Some of those were really good looking. I was like, ooh. Recipes using box cake mix. What's for dinner? 30 best quick and easy recipes. Cheap and fancy crock pot dinners. Dump and go crock pot dinners. She's got, hundreds of videos on this thing. And so for people that, like, I started watching her because of the crock pot meals. Hey, John. Are you going to be nice to me today? Aw. You feeling okay? So that's her link to her YouTube channel. She's got a lot of followers. And she cooks a lot of like Mexican based recipes too, but she does have, well, I'm going to say normal because I don't really eat Mexican. But she's got a lot of really good crock pot recipes and casserole recipes and stuff. So for anybody that likes making those or that's more convenient for them, check out her channel because, and she's one of the sloppiest people I've ever seen putting stuff in a crock pot. She gets stuff everywhere. I'm like, girl, you are a mess. Oh, thank you, Cajun. But her food comes out looking really amazing. So she does like a French toast thing in the crock pot that I want to try. Her crock pot's smaller than mine though. I have like an 8-quart crock pot because I make stuff so that I can have meals for 3 or 4 days. But she does have some really good recipes. So I definitely recommend, especially if you have more than just you and one other mouth to feed, those casserole recipes and the crock pot recipes, because she's got her and her little girl and her husband, and now she's got another baby, but the baby's not eating crock pot meals yet. And she'll even tell you if her toddler likes the food, because we know how picky some kids are with eating. I didn't allow picking eating, but some people do. And she'll let you know if it's one of her husband's favorites or if her little girl just eats it up, So my birthday is technically tomorrow, although I claim the whole month. But technically tomorrow, the 22nd, is my birthday. Her name's Julia Pacheco. Yeah, I put her link in. I'll put it in again. There you go. It's either Pacheco or yeah, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but Jennifer, you have to be nice tomorrow. And I saw her. Well, you might, because I'm gonna do a birthday live. But that doesn't mean you have to show up to it, so you might be off the hook anyway. Hey, Carol Ann. Yeah, it does make you hungry because her food comes out. It looks so good. But I was on regular YouTube, not on my subscription list. I was like, oh, there's nothing to watch. So I just hit the YouTube, and she came up as something that was, I guess, her algorithms were all in line or something because the video came up for crockpot recipes, and I was like, I have a crockpot, so I checked her out and then I subscribed to her. I was like, hell yeah! Oh, you're already subbed? Cool. She does really. I mean, she is so sloppy though. She'll go to dump stuff in, she gets stuff everywhere. I'm like, you might want to get the ingredients in the crock pot, hun. but, she's fun, and she started having different kinds of salt and pepper shakers. I guess that was her thing. Is she would switch out her salt and pepper shakers. So sometimes they're just, say salt and pepper, and sometimes they're cute little animals and things like that, which is something I notice. But she's cute and she's fun, and she cooks good food. And the crock pot thing, I mean, I couldn't really do anything with the casseroles because I couldn't use my oven. However, now that I have the air fryer slash toaster oven that I can bake in, I can do small casseroles. So I would just have to decrease the size of the recipe because I do have a small casserole dish that will fit in there. So, like I said, my world is opening up. The only problem is ingredients. Yeah, you kind of got to pay for those, and yeah. Um, sometimes they're pricey, sometimes they're not. I mean, when she says $5 recipes, yeah, the stuff you get at the store might be $5, but she uses stuff she already has at home too, which I don't have much. My herbs and spices and stuff are all really old, and they've lost. I mean, they're still good, but they're not as flavorful. Yeah, Christy, definitely. She is very sweet. She's very sweet. And you guys know I don't recommend a lot of people. I won't say, hey, go sub to this, go sub to that. Oh, I do have to eat crow though. I do have to eat crow, and not in the crock pot or air fried. It has come to light that Jeffrey is actually the honorary baseball commissioner of Jamestown, Rhode Island, and he is mentally disabled. Although there's still something hinky about that boy. None of the articles I read said anything about how annoying he was, so I'm pretty sure he probably bugged them into giving him the title, and they just kind of gave it to him as a pat on the head. But it is a lifetime honorary title, so I do have to eat crow. There is no official baseball commissioner, but yeah, but yeah, there's still something fucked up about that boy, and I still don't like him, so I'm gonna stick with that. But yeah, no, TG, he's not. I admit there is some mental disability there, but he plays it up a lot and manipulates. Because my little alarm is still going off about that boy. But I will. Well, Jennifer, you know what? When I'm proven wrong, I will absolutely admit it. And I did do research. I just didn't look at newspaper articles, and I should have, but I didn't. I went straight to the commissioner list, and there's no baseball commission. So, yep, I will. I fully admit when I'm wrong. It happens a couple of times a year, you know. But yeah, he manipulates big time. And I'm pretty sure he probably manipulated his way into that title just so they pat him on the head and make him go away. But yeah, he is very active in the Cal Ripken Junior Baseball Association. He does help a lot. Everything from running the snack bar, well, not running it, but working at the snack bar, to helping out like Bat Boy and things like that. Yeah, I'm not wrong about that, TG. You are so not an angel. But So I said it once, I'm not going to say it again, but I was wrong. About at least three-quarters of it. He's still an annoying fuck. Yeah, we know you too well, TG. The angel thing doesn't work. Now, see, there's somebody else that is recently started hanging out in Victoria's, and I don't know if he's gone to Larry's or not. Um, but Marcel, have you guys seen Marcel? I know TG has because she was at one of his lives. And I mean, my unprofessional guess, because I am not in any way a medical professional person, would be that Marcel is kind of high spectrum. What else is new, John? um, but I don't get that hinky. I'm out to manipulate people, or I'm out for something that is hidden type of vibe from Marcel. Marcel is very outgoing. He's done lives, so we've seen him. Well, I saw one of his lives. Um, I would say he's high spectrum, but he seems very sweet. Little too quick to be on the God aspect for me, but then that's because I'm not Christian. So that's me. He already got a big one. He got Nikki. And that's the best one. So, but Marcel seems completely harmless and like he really wants to be a part of the community. And I'm not getting any kind of negative anything from Marcel. So there are different degrees, and I mean, it's such a complicated thing to get into the psychology of the whole thing. But there's definitely something hinky about Jeffrey. I just, yeah. Um, but I don't have any problems with Marcel. I think Marcel is very sweet. Yeah. I think some of Jeffrey's screws are a little too tight. The ones that he's not missing are screwed in way too tight. But I think Jeffrey has enough cognitive function to know how to manipulate people to get attention. And he uses that. He manipulates people to get attention. So, and that's a nope for me. Sorry. Yeah. Well, we could all use a little tightening. That's probably true. Oh shit! I forgot to take my Z this morning. Well, he does have mental issues, Carol Ann. Um, but like I said, he has enough cognitive function to be able to try and manipulate people, and I don't like that. I mean, every day somebody seems to either be dying or have COVID, or he needs prayers for something because that puts everybody's focus on him, or he's offended by something, he's leaving YouTube, and everybody jumps on the whole "oh, don't leave YouTube" bullshit. I personally, he doesn't keep his word. He keeps saying he's leaving and he doesn't go. So I hate liars. So I don't acknowledge him in chat. I You might see a little zippered mouth smiley face. Um, or if I think he's manipulating, I'll put the sunglasses emoji in there because you know the neon sign saying "Pay attention to me" is so bright it's blinding. But other than that, I do not acknowledge him because I don't want to cause any controversy in anyone else's channel or chat. So, yeah, I do love you, TG, but you are a fibber. I won't, you know, the whole angel thing. Yeah, no. But on my channel, I could say whatever the fuck I want. So yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, Christy, Julia. Yeah, she always has some little sign that's saying you are loved, or you know, if you like to eat, I love you, and things like that. Yeah, her little signs are adorable. Yeah, Caroline, are you still feeling the hug? Because I'm still squishing you. It's a forever hug. Tomorrow's gonna be hard for me. Aw. Well, you are loved, Caroline. I love you too. We're here for you, girl. Might not be able to hug you in person, but mentally, I'm squishing the hell out of you. I give really good squishy hugs because I'm squishy. Yeah, John, I don't either. Because he doesn't want anybody to get too close to know that most of what he says is bullshit. Because Jeffrey's pathological. There's no way that there's that many people in his life that, I mean, what was the last couple of weeks? His entire family has COVID. The neighbor's dog probably has COVID. And then there was somebody at church that died. He needed prayers for all of this stuff. I'm like, well, I think his pastor died twice. Not really sure, but I seem to recall him dying 2 different months. Um, because he can't keep the stuff he makes up straight. So he doesn't have conversations in chat. He says hi to people. He'll call them his friend. He'll tell people they're wonderful, and then he'll ask for prayers and attention. But he doesn't converse. So yeah, Caroline, you don't have to ever feel bad about coming into a chat. You're not bringing it down, um, because there are real people behind computers, and they care about you. So they're there for you. You're not bringing anybody down. That's right. Don't feel bad. We love you. I mean, I've gotten so much love and help from people online, including Carol Ann, which I fully appreciate. Um, that anybody who says that, you can't make real friends online, find those people and slap them and tell them to go away because you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. You know what I mean? You can make some really quality. Yeah, there are people like Jeffrey and like Tyrannus and you know, shit like that. You're gonna run into that in actual physical real life as well. But the ratio of amazing people to ass clowns is in our favor. You know what I mean? So, I mean, our community is so beautiful, whether we need to be uplifted or, whether someone's just having a bad day and someone gifts them something and it just changes their whole day, you know? And it's not the physical item. I've said this before. It's not the physical item of what's being gifted. It's the fact that someone thought of you enough to want to bring some cheer to your life, to bring you something that will make you happy, you know? So our community is amazing. Oh my God, someone was cloning Kathy's videos? Oh, hell no. Yeah, that's true, John. That's very true. Cat, I opened that door so you'd stay off me. Why are you here? Go away. You have food. Mm. She acts like she got no food, but it's been down there all morning. I'm sorry, is it not in the right place for you? Here you go. Now I moved it over. And she's right down there at the food. That's what it was. I didn't put it in the right place. And now she walks away. Hmm. Trash treasures? Wow. We are an awesome group of people. Wow. See, that's so wrong. They don't want to do the work, but they, you know, want all the benefits from it. That's Yeah, absolutely. This is probably one of the only times I'll agree with John, but there you go. I agree. It's good, John. You should be crushing on your wife. Never lose that. She's so sweet. Uh-huh. I actually don't know what the temperature is here. Let's see. It is 44 degrees where I am as of 12 minutes ago. 44 degrees. Humidity is 54%, precipitation is 0, and the wind is 9 miles an hour. So basically nothing's moving and it's chilly outside. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, which is better than my birthdays usually are because growing up in Massachusetts, there was always snow and nobody could come to my party. So now I don't have a party and people would be able to get here. You better clip it, John, because I'm going to deny it next time. Oh yeah, Christy, but she always has something adorable, and I'm like, damn. No wonder you can only spend $5 on a meal. You're spending it all on kitchen gadgets. I have a glass. Um, I think it's Pyrex, but it has a patterning on it. It's white and has. I I can't remember the color flowers. And they're either like a marigold or yellow or something. It was my mom's way back in the day. And then I have like bigger glass Pyrex, but that won't fit in my toaster oven. But I do have a small rectangular one. And I have the square Pyrex one. So. Yeah, I actually dropped my thermostat down to 68 because a couple of times when I had the door open the last time, it got too warm in my room and I was sweating and I'm like, what the hell? So I was like, you know what? If my room's gonna get that toasty, then I can drop the degrees down a little bit because I don't need it that hot in here. When things get too hot, I have a hard time breathing, and I don't like being sweaty. Oh, I won't deny this one, but you probably won't hear me say it again ever. So you might want to gold plate that sucker. Susanna in Massachusetts. You know, I was watching America's Test Kitchen: The Next Generation. I'm really upset that they don't have season 2 because I want to know how it ends. And it's basically a cooking competition to see who's going to get the job. They had a job opening on America's Test Kitchen, and this is how they do their interviews. They're having a contest, right? And so they only have one season. I'm like, but it's from 2022. I'm like, well, hurry up and get the other season on there. Uh, nah. Well, you go, John. Go right ahead. Um, and there were 3 or 4 people from Massachusetts going after that job, and then there was like 2 from California and one or 2 from New York. But as far as I know, like 3 of the people from Massachusetts are still hanging in there. One of them's from Lawrence. I was like, holy shit, that's right next to Lowell where I used to live. He's so funny. But the gay guys have kind of bonded together. Like they're always picking each other for things and complimenting each other, and it's so funny. I mean, the show, there's a lot of humor in it. They're very entertaining because they have to be as part of the job because you're going to be on camera, I guess, and or on their websites, on camera. So, having the outgoing personality is part of the job. Um, so it's very entertaining, and I got stuck. There's like five or six contestants left, and I'm like, no, that's not the end. What are you doing? Because it's like nothing left. I'm like, ugh, you know. So yeah, I was like, well, that sucks. I hate that because it's kind of like MasterChef, only a smaller amount of people started off, and um, it's in the test kitchens, which I just want to be let loose in these pantries that these shows have. I'm like, oh my god. Well, we know he wasn't busy working. Susanna, are we going hot on Wednesday? You have a big secret. Oh, John, you're giving me all the power here. I'd be careful. We want to know the secret. I want to know the secret. I'm nosy. It's awesome, isn't it? I love America Test Kitchen. Now, the guy that was on there originally, I was a little disappointed he's not there anymore. Um, because one of the original front people for it, they had a contract dispute, and he ended up leaving and opened his own, started his own thing. So, Susanna, you're being a tease. Yeah, Milk Street. It's sad though. He was such an iconic part of America's Test Kitchen. I mean, there's still some people that have been there from the beginning, but he was he was one of my favorite people. Ah, Susanna. Yeah, yeah, and they brought in new people, and there will be another new person as soon as they finish with the contest to see who see who wins the job. I love learning how they make new things and or new ways to make things that we've always done a certain way, and then they're all like, but you can do it this way, and I'm like, oh well, that's easier. you know Mm. The fish said, go back to work, John. They said it in code with little bubbles. Susanna, I'm not even gonna pay attention to you no more. You tease too much. Nope. Hey, Paul. She's also not answering my question that I had if we were gonna go hot on Wednesday. What's the good word? Rutabaga. I was gonna say kumquat, but TG would have ran with that one, so we'll go with rutabaga. It's a good word. Hey, I know good words and bad words. My son was so funny once. We had ordered pizza. I don't remember who the hell paid for it, but he comes walking in with both of the pizzas so that he can, open them and figure out whose is whose. And he opens the top one. He goes, pineapple should be your safe word. Here, take this nasty thing. My son does not like pineapple on pizza, and I do. So, but it just shocked me. I was like, my safe word, huh? He's like, yeah, take this thing. It was so funny. Bye, Susie. Have an awesome weekend. Well, you can't please everybody. How's the gal that lost her husband doing? I have no idea what you're talking about. Did she misplace him? Or are you talking about Carol Ann? She was just here in the chat. Good days and bad days, you know. It's hard. It's difficult when you lose somebody. Hey, my bitch, you're here. Woohoo. Hi, Danny Mae. Yeah. I don't know. The geese kind of chased everything out of my head. Yeah, Susanna, that's what she was talking about like a week ago. That's why she was saying when she comes into a chat, she feels like she's bringing everybody down, but she's not. And she shouldn't feel, I mean, you can't tell someone not to feel some a way, but um yeah, he passed like a week and a half ago. He was getting ready to head to work, I guess, and just poof gone. Yeah. And it's rough. I mean, she's in the beginning stages of grief, so yeah, good days, bad days. I still have a lot of bad days missing John. Tomorrow's going to be hard because he always made it a point to make my birthday special. Yeah. And it will be 3 years, February 20th, that he passed. Yeah. That's all you can do is take it one day at a time. Pain never goes away, it just gets easier to deal with. And some days, not so easy, but in general, there are some days that I can talk about him all day long and I don't have a problem. There are other days, like I could say hi to Mr. Picky there, and because his name is John, it will trigger me and I will just cry. And it's not his fault. You know what I mean? But yeah. Unfortunately, John is a very common name. My son's name is John, so I have to adjust to that and deal with that. And today is an okay day though. So that's why some days, John, I will say hi, John, and some days I'll say hi, Mr. Picky, because some days I just can't say your name. But I still want to say hi, you know, until you ask to get back to work. Well, I mean, Susanna, you haven't really been on YouTube all that much. And of course, she's dealing with what she's dealing with, so she hasn't been on that much. So it's understandable that you didn't know. Don't feel bad. Aw, thank you. I do appreciate that. Yeah, that's true, Danny Mae. That's true. And Danny Mae, she uses the Lou. So if you know anybody named Lou, tell them to run. Okay, come Monday, it's back on. I got you. Come Monday, your ass better be working. It's a weekday. You guys are so silly. Oh, did they? Yeah, I don't pay attention to other people's weather. Loo. Lou. Yeah. That's why at one point they called her Lady of the Lou. But Porcelain Princess is better. Well, she's doing pretty good in that business venture, I would say. At the very least, she's having a blast with it, and she does really well. Because I remember when she first started selling, and she was so nervous about holding things up right and her hair, and she was like, "Oh my god, I'm on camera," and she was so cute. And now she's so clumsy, but she she's got that how to present things down, and she does really well. And I have a blast moderating for her. I mean, I love being in her shows, whether I'm moderating or not. But I have so much fun moderating for Nikki. Aw, that is very sweet sentiment, Joan. That's a good man right there. It's a good thing you're pretty, Joan. That was so funny when I said that when I was moderating. She laughed so hard. Yeah. Ew, Danny Mae, we don't need to know that. Ew. She's like icky, and then she asks one or two. What is wrong with you, Danny Mae? And where's my Tig? How's he feeling? Is he better? I love my Tig. Bye, Paul. Have a great weekend. John, that's funny. All right, you want someone to record? All right. All joking aside, and I am joking with you when I'm telling you to go back to work all the time. Um, but all joking aside, I think you're a very good man. That you stand by your woman and you help her out, and you do a really good job packing because I need a hacksaw to get through some of the stuff. Um, and I think you guys are a great couple, and that you work really well together. Now record that bitch because I'm not saying it again. I'm glad he's doing good, Danny May. I don't think a lot of time John gets enough credit. He does most of the packing or all of the packing, and he does a really good job. I have never had one thing come to me damaged, and and I appreciate that. I don't appreciate not being able to reuse the bubble wrap because you've taped the shit out of it, but it's okay because my stuff got here safely and I'm good. I actually try and cut like the top off and slide the item out so that if I'm ever shipping anything, I can just slide it into that pocket and reuse it. Susanna, you know what my thoughts are about you and Tina. I love you too, and you are an amazing couple. And the way you interact reminds me of how John and I interacted with. So I know that that is at a very deep level, and I absolutely love the two of you together. But I will say, fuck you, macaroni and cheese. All right. But I think you and Tina work very well together, and that you're an awesome couple. And I would seriously hang out with you guys in person. I don't know if you could handle two redheads in one place, though. Okay, Danny Mae. Don't drop any dish soap on Tig's head like you did with the hair dye. Poor Tig. Turned into a unicorn with a big dot on his head. And Enville. Enville is one of my favorite snarky Canadians. And Danny Mae's my butterfly bitch. So there you go. I think everybody's covered. Yeah, keep the streak alive, definitely. Oh, there goes Susanna with her secret again. Oh, whoops. Okay, well, Tig was fine. It's, not harmful to animals. He's fine. He just looked kind of silly. And Jennifer, spill it or zip it, Susanna. Yeah. And when I say that the way they interact with each other reminds me of the way John and I, talk to each other. Whenever we were out in public, people thought him and I were married. And even when we were with Issa and Talon, and Talon is definitely, I mean, Issa is half Panamanian, so her skin is darker, looks like she's got a really good tan. And Talon looked like he had a pretty good tan going too. So the fact that John is Scottish descent and I'm Irish descent, we are pale motherfuckers. Okay, Casper, get out of the way because you're darker than I am. Um, but people would think John and I were married and that Talon was our kid and that Issa was the nanny. I was like, what? But yeah, because Issa and John just they didn't have that connection. And yes, whenever I asked him why did you get married, he's like, I was drunk. Yeah, which does not surprise me. But because John and I would crack people up wherever we went just by the way we interacted. Um, so my prosthetic guy Tom told me once that he loved it when John and I came in because it lifted his day up. He gets so many sad people in there who have lost limbs and they're depressed and kind of down, and it's completely understandable. But he had to deal with that daily, repeatedly. And John and I would come in and we'd be joking around with each other and cracking up and cracking on him, and we'd involve him in it. And he used to say that it was refreshing to have somebody come in that wasn't all doom and gloom and then lifted his spirits up. So I felt good about making him have at least one part of his day that wasn't all because there's a lot more than just the physical aspect that goes along with losing part of your body. There's a lot of psychological bullshit that gets stuck in your head, and yeah, a lot of people, I mean, can't deal with that very well. I have my moments, but are you going to hear it? Because she's actually not talking out loud. But my surgeon was the same way. He and it was his receptionist that was like, "Your babysitter's been kind of weird out there," and we're like, I was like, "What?" She goes, "The nanny that you have watching your son," and I'm like, and John and I looked at each other. We just died laughing. I was like, that's his wife and their child." She goes, "Oh, I thought you two were married." Yeah, did not go over well with Issa because she heard it, but yeah, I was like, "Well, run to Walmart, see if they're selling personalities on sale today." And I'm like, "My attention span is short. You're killing me." It is when it's Aquaman and it's Jason Momoa. I'd have those fish babies all day long. Hell yeah. Oh, really? Auction pirate? Storage auction pirate, Mike? That's cool. Not really YouTube rocking, but very awesome. He's pretty cool. And you have an interview on Monday too, don't you? Hmm. Or was that last Monday? Shit, I'm getting my days mixed up. I need sleep. Yep, fish babies. Well, all I can say is y'all are going to learn a lot more about Mike than anybody ever expected, because Susanna has a way of pulling information out of people that they never expected to share, and it's awesome. Yeah, Ella's interview is going to be funny, so funny. I love Ella. My computer's doing wonky things. I don't like it when it does that. Never bodes well. I don't have anybody live right now. Huh. Well, that kind of sucks. Yeah. Well, I am super excited for you for both interviews. They should be very interesting. Susanna does such amazing interviews with people. I think my favorite was Kevin, whom I missed, by the way. I haven't seen him in forever. Yeah, Ronnie G was good. Ronnie G was absolutely good. But I really liked the interview with Kevin. Yeah. I'm so glad you're back, Susanna. Oh yeah, Papa Smurf and Gina were good too. They're all good. Well, I'm gonna give this another 15 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna end the live because I am tired and my ass wants to go to bed. I'm still not feeling great. Just kind of like I need sleep, you know. Yeah, I miss Ronnie too. Good morning, Lindsay. So if y'all have any links you want to share, go ahead and pop them in there. You know how we do. And I'm gonna then end the live and take a nap and then deal with my beasties for the afternoon and then finish watching America's Test Kitchen about air fryers. because I don't know how to use them. So, is that cake? I want cake. Oh, I'm sorry you have a headache, Emville. I hope you feel better. I was actually very surprised that my mom didn't bring over one of those little, I guess they're supposed to be like a single person cake, the little tiny personal cakes. But she did bring me cheesecake the other day, so that works too. And there's Darlene's YouTube for her seed bead creations, which are amazing. And the link for Ella's interview. Put your notifications on, people. And Susanna never answered me about Wednesday, but if she decides to do the Angels auction Wednesday, make sure you guys check in for that. I'll be moderating for her. Trying not to cause problems. Gotta behave myself to a point. Okay, absolutely Wednesday. Yes. Yay. Things to look forward to. Cool. So yeah, keep an eye out for that thumbnail. And be there. I want to see everybody, bright and shiny faces there. Not only do you get really good stuff at really good prices, but it's entertaining as all hell. Absolutely. Yeah, and keep an eye out for Victoria's pop-ups, which are coming randomly. And I did miss the one last night. I watched part of it um, on a rerun, but Victoria with the tough life there in Hawaii. I'm glad she's having a good time with her son, though. I am. Yeah, pop up, not pop hip. I miss her, though. She would sell them. Susanna, we're talking about. Yeah, pop hip happens when you get old. Tell me about it. I would sell them. I don't wear a watch because I'm either sitting in front of my computer, which has a clock on it, or I have my phone, which has a clock on it. So I don't wear a watch. I did have to wear a watch when I worked loss prevention, though. Well, I would have to do auction. I can't do eBay. But depending on the watch, would depend on how I would sell them. If I was going to sell watches on eBay, if they were high-end watches, I'd sell them individually. If they were your basic middle of the road or generic watches, then I'd probably sell them in lots between 5 and 10 watches in each lot. Yeah, a few people still wear them, and some people just collect them. A lot of people take the watches apart because they use the insides to make steampunk jewelry. Yep, junk journal crafts, steampunk stuff. Hey, Patrick. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Yeah. But definitely do your research on watches because you could have a watch that looks like a piece of shit and it's actually like a $500 watch because I don't know, rich people will buy anything. So you can put a piece of shit together and if it has a name brand on it, people will be like, ah. So yeah, I would definitely research them first, make sure you know what you got, and then make decisions from there. Yeah, I had a my watch for Walmart was digital because I had to do all my reports and everything in military time. So it was digital and I had it set on military time. And yes, it had a purple watch band. Mm. Bulova is a good brand. Swatches. Swatches are kind of a throwback collectible type of thing. I don't think they're swatches were never considered high end, but well, depending on the swatch, I guess. But that would be a throwback collectible. Like, hey, I had one of those when I was a kid, and I want to get one just for that, you know. Because I remember when those were huge, and everybody had to have a swatch, and I was just like, nope, I'm not entering that cult. Yeah, the most you're gonna get is a full XTG. Yeah, that's true. The more jewels inside the watch, the better it is. Yeah, you're gonna have to do your due diligence on that one, Danny May. A lot of research gonna have to go into that if you have 45 of them, because you definitely don't want to sell the watch for like $10 and find out it's worth 300. You know what I mean? And we cry when that happens. You're welcome, honey. See, this is what we're here for. We're helpful. It's just not all rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. And you know, you never know when you're going to find a watch fanatic that will collect just about anything as long as it's a watch. You know, I mean, there are some people that it doesn't matter how ugly something is. If it's something they collect, they'll buy it. See, me, I don't know. I collect. Well, I collect a lot of things actually. Um, but say fairies, for instance. I love fairies. But if I see an ugly fairy, I'm not buying it. Yeah, Jennifer, it was that she's doing an auction with Storage Auction Pirate, or doing an interview with Storage Auction Pirate. Um, you can find junk journal craft stuff on eBay. Um, actually, the Vintage Hippie makes these really awesome notebooks. She was selling them on Ella's on Thursday, and she does these notebooks that she basically it's the same thing as a junk journal, except it's got actual little notebooks incorporated in it. They were so cute. They were Alice in Wonderland. They were absolutely adorable. Um, you can look up also on Etsy if you look up, you know, if you're doing research or whatever to see what things are selling for. For watch parts, they usually list it under steampunk. So like steampunk junk journal or junk journal steamcraft, steampunk or something. It might have to reword it a couple of times, but anything that has cogs, gears, wheels is considered steampunk. But her Alice in Wonderland journals were absolutely adorable. And a friend of mine in Oregon makes junk journals, and her, oh my God, they are gorgeous. I was like, I'd be afraid to write in it. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's too beautiful to write in because if I fill it all up, then I won't have it. Tina, how the fuck are ya? What do you think's going on here? Chaos and confusion, of course. Tina's here. Tina's here. And you know, I heard that in your voice. What's going on in here? How are ya? What's up? What's going on? And fuck you, macaroni and cheese. That is a classic that will live with me forever. Just letting you know. Susanna tried to tell you that was the good cheese for her macaroni and cheese. And you're just like, Fuck your macaroni and cheese. Oh, that makes me laugh every time I talk about it. It's good to have them both back because where one goes, the other is, and I'm glad that they're both back. I have missed you guys. Now, Tina, you need to find something to rant about because we need another Tina rant. We've missed it. Yeah, fuck you, Vegemite. We don't need that shit around. Ugh. Vegemite could stay at TG's house. Well, having Susanna and Tina back actually helped pull me out of the depression funk that I was in for a few days. I was like, ooh, ooh, they're back. Yes. So yeah. So thank you. Yeah, I got stuck in one for a little longer than usual, probably because of the time of year and you know, dates that are coming up and things. But yeah, it did help me pull me out of that. Yeah, TG I do, and the bottled kind I do, and that's a trauma I'm not reliving. Thank you. All I'll say is that high school kids are assholes when it comes to April Fools, and never leave your food at lunch unguarded. That's all I'm saying about it. She does, Jennifer, because she eats Vegemite. Same thing. Yep, tomorrow's my birthday. Older and older and older. And still here to bitch about it. So I guess we're doing all right, right? Ugh, I got a bad taste in my mouth now. Ugh, nasty. Well, apparently TG likes liquid ass. No accounting for taste. Oh, that'd be nice. Male or female? I'll take either one. Don't send one to work on the furniture, though. I don't have any furniture stripper. Get it? Oh, ooh, both would be nice. Jennifer, is that the secret? You guys are silly. I love you guys. You guys brighten my day. You really do. There are some days when if I don't do my show, there are no, I'll let him in because he's a stranger. I can protect myself in my house. It's just in a vehicle with a stranger. Mm-mm. But I have a dog here, although they should be more afraid of one of the cats. But there are a lot of different reasons for why I might not do a show when I'm supposed to. One is that I just need to sleep and I can't wake up enough to do the show. One is that I'm too depressed to people. There are days that I just can't people. Um, or I'm not feeling good if my back is killing me because I have to sit here and I don't have any back support. So there are a lot of different reasons, but I do appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. You do brighten my day. Every time I do a live, you guys make my day that much brighter. And you have no idea how much I appreciate that. Jennifer, the last time I had a stranger in my house was a delivery guy who didn't want to bring my stuff inside and put it on the counter. He was looking at me like I was going to murder him, and I thought that was absolutely hysterical. I'm like, I'm not going to kidnap you or anything. I'm I'm like, I just, you know, it's difficult for me to maneuver loose groceries because it was from Sam's Club, so they weren't in bags or anything. I was like, it's a little difficult for me to carry stuff with the wheelchair one handed. It would be very much appreciated if you could put it on the counter. He goes, well, where? And he's like trying to look around the corner. I'm like, just right there. It's like 12 feet away. I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, he was kind of rude and didn't want to come in the house. And I'm like, I said, the dog's in my room. She can't get you. I was like, so he's like, well, I guess. Well, gee, thanks. And they like threw my stuff on the counter. Ugh. Right? Don't send me no short dick, man. What the hell? Don't send me someone from the itty bitty titty committee either. I want to enjoy it. Hello. Right in my face. Shut up, TJ. Get your money worth, Susanna. Get your money's worth. There's nothing worse than a stripper with no pits. I mean, come on. I mean, they don't have to be huge. That's going a little overboard, but they need to be nice, you know? No, no itty bitty dickies in my face. I mean, if he's got a little dick, then but nice abs, then just keep the mankini on and flex a lot, you know? Like, I don't know, but I think it's a good thing, Jennifer. There you go. You figures TG can find it. Susanna, I had a friend of mine a couple of years ago. Well, more than a couple, like 30 years ago, that told me I should strip. And I was like, I'm a fat girl. Why would I do that? Hold on, I gotta put the numbing stuff on. And she said, you would be amazed at how good big girls get for tips. Because my friend Rose, when she lived in Florida, she was a stripper. And I mean, the girl's gorgeous, right? Thin. She was like 5'7" and weighed like 110, 120 pounds. I mean, she had legs up to her neck. She was amazing. And before her son stole her boobs, they were nice. And she was like the girls that were bigger. She goes, we had one girl that was your size, and she made more tips than all the other strippers put together. I'm like, okay, you have weird clientele. She goes, no, there's a huge market of men that just like that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, where are they when I need a date? You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, I was still not going for it, but she's like, you can make a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah. How do you know, TG? I mean, I knew from my friend, but how do you know? What have you been doing? Hmm. They like things to grab. Yeah. I don't know. They're just. I mean, John liked bigger girls, but I have no idea if he actually went to see any of them strip or not. But everybody he dated was chunky. His reasoning was that he didn't want to fuck really skinny girls because he didn't want to bruise his hip bones and his pelvic bone um, on their boniness. So I was like, okay, whatever works for you. He said, "There's nothing wrong. There's nothing worse than getting a good stride going, and all of a sudden you hit one of those bones wrong." He goes, "It's all over." I'm like, "Oh my god." Yeah. So yeah, we have such interesting conversations here. Oh my. Yeah, I've never actually been to a strip club. Well, I can't say that. I did go to one, but they weren't open at the time. Because my friend was going to bartend there and she wanted to check out the club before she bartended. Needless to say, she did not bartend there because it was a dive. But you have your strip clubs that are kind of classy, and you have your strip clubs that you see on TV that are not. And this was one of the knots. And she was like, "Nope." So yeah, and there weren't any girls there, so I didn't see them. Right? Do you know that almost every bill in America has a trace of cocaine on it? Doesn't matter what denomination, it's got a trace of cocaine on it. I mean, just a trace. You're not going to get high or not pass a drug test, but they've done studies. Yeah, we have nothing better to do with our time, but they have done studies and tested thousands and thousands of bills in different denominations, and they all pop positive for a trace of cocaine. Because once you use one bill, think about it. If you use like a dollar bill to snort your coke, and then you spend that dollar bill later, it mixes in with other money, which then mixes in with other money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, yep, more on drugs. Drugs are winning. But the same can be said for germs. Money is so dirty. It is unbelievably dirty with germs and bacteria, and just the ink comes off, and oh, and yet still everybody wants it because everything's so expensive and you can't live. I mean, I still can't believe. Let me tell you, I really wish that. Well, if I ate eggs more, um, I would wish to be friends with somebody that had chickens at this point because I can't believe how expensive eggs are. That's crazy. I remember when like a dozen eggs was like 50 cents, you know? And now it's like $7 or $7 or more. That woman Julia that does the cooking videos, she actually videoed her at Walmart, and she had to pick up eggs, and a half dozen eggs was like almost $6, and she needed a half dozen just for the recipe. But when she's buying food, she's got a family, so you buy it so that you have some to use later. And so she actually went to a different store and got a dozen eggs for a little bit more than what that price was. So yeah, I mean it's crazy. Now we have a farmers market that's not too far from my house. Of course, I can't get there, but and mom's not going there at 6:30 in the morning. But they do sell eggs there. I don't know what their prices are. Well, I think because egg prices went up so fast and so high, that's why everybody's talking about them. Because they went from um actually I can tell you, I bought eggs a couple of weeks ago. If I can get into my past orders, I can tell you what I paid for them. Um, I hate having to sign into shit. Stop it. All right, let's see. Da, 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 da. Ice cream. Sorry. Oh wow, I didn't know I paid that much for it. $8.32 for an 18 count of eggs is what I paid for them. I don't know exactly when that was. It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I don't know if that's what I paid for them or if that's what they are now. Because that's the price that's coming up now. Let's see. Purchase history. I love having discovered new things. Ugh. All right, let's see. I paid $8.17 for them when I bought them. And that was December 28th. So, yeah. I haven't even used them yet. I still had some left in the other dozen, but I didn't know how often I was going to make my fish. So, and I use an egg wash to make my fish. I agree, Jennifer. The process for having chickens in town here, I did look into that, and I'm glad. Well, now I'm glad that I didn't go through with it because I wouldn't be able to take care of them. But um, in order to have chickens within city limits here, you have to have the entire coop. You have to have a coop that is by city specs. You have to have the entire coop enclosed with chain link, like a dog kennel, including on top. You also have to get permission from every neighbor whose property touches yours to have chickens. And you had to pay $35 a year, and you can only have 3 chickens, no roosters. So, yeah, that seems like a lot to go through. Considering knocking on neighbors' doors that I don't know is kind of scary in my neighborhood. So, yeah. I mean, I could have bribed them on either side with eggs, but the guy in the back, I don't know him. So he walks around the neighborhood with a big stick. I was like, no. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure farmer's market would probably be cheaper than that. Um, or if you have somebody local that has chickens that you can purchase from, I mean, they're cashing in on the egg shortage. So their prices are probably a little higher than they normally would be, but not as high as like the grocery store. And I must have missed it because I don't know why there's an egg shortage. Let's see what Google says. We'll see. All right. Well, let's see. According to thestate.com, if it will actually give me the article instead of being stupid. Hate it when they do that. And I don't need video of some. No. I do not need the Gamecocks on my damn. I hate pop ups. I hate them. All right. Um, it feels like you practically need to take out a second mortgage just to make an omelet these days. Shoppers in South Carolina and across the U.S. have felt the pain of skyrocketing egg prices in recent months. Egg prices are up about 60% in December from a year ago. Um, there's a lot of bird flu. Let's see. It says inflation isn't driving the egg prices. While rising inflation hit the food industry relatively hard last year, it's not the primary reason why eggs in particular are so expensive, says Joey von Nessen, research economist at the Darla Moore School of Business at the University of South Carolina. Um, yep, bird flu. The primary factor is due to a lack of supply, and that lack of supply is due to an outbreak of bird flu. It's caused by a virus that is highly contagious and often deadly among chicken and other poultry. More than 43 million egg-laying hens died from the virus between February and December of 2022. Wow. As a result, the U.S. egg inventories were 29% lower in the final week of December than the start of 2022. There you go. That's why. It's unknown exactly when egg prices will fall in South Carolina, but they won't drop anytime soon. Well, that kind of sucks. Yep. Poor birdies. Poor little birdies. Bye, Patrick. I probably missed him, but bye, Patrick. Yeah. Poor little birdies. Yeah, because I mean, even if they had eggs that were going to hatch, they have to wait for them to mature to be old enough to lay eggs. So, yeah. Well, let's hope that when egg production gets back up, prices will go back down. You know what I mean? I mean, I got like a $50 cost of living increase this year, but prospectively, with all the prices of food and everything else going up, that's not helping. You know what I mean? It's not a help. So, I mean, now instead of $850 that I'm living on 900. Jennifer, stop sneezing on the geese, TG. Yeah, it definitely makes me wish I was friends with someone who had chickens, though. You know what I mean? I'd be like, hey, could you bring me over some eggs? I mean, I do have friends with someone who I am friends with someone who has chickens, but she's in North Carolina. My friend Rebecca, my birthday twin, she has chickens, and so she's not worried. And as long as her chickens survive the avian flu, she's definitely not worried about egg prices because she's got 5 or 6 chickens, so she's got plenty of eggs, probably more than she can do with. At this point, her kids probably don't ever want to see another egg. Yes, he does. I mean, I don't use a lot of eggs, so the 18 count will probably last me quite a while. Because I usually only use one egg and then some milk to do the egg wash because I only cook like 2 pieces of fish at a time. So, oh, bacon would be nice. I can't really chew bacon too well, but I can break it up into little bits and eat it. Jennifer wants breakfast. Breakfast for lunch. I knew this was going to be a bad area of time. um, this week. So I went the lazy way with shopping and had my mom pick me up chicken pot pies that I can just microwave. You're a fibber there too, because you eat Big Macs, so don't lie. But you're vegetarian, not vegan, so you can still have eggs and milk and things like that, right? Technically, even though you eat Big Macs and cheese. She makes cheese toasties, so I know she eats cheese. See, vegans won't eat anything that comes from an animal. Veggie meat, yeah. It's not meat. Vegan is Native American for crappy hunter. So is vegetarian. Plants have feelings too, you know. Carrot murderer. Veggie meat, please. I hate it when things are labeled incorrectly. They're not meat. I can't. Mm-mm. It's like turkey bacon. I know it's turkey and it cooks up like bacon, but bacon is a certain area of the pig, so it's not bacon. Just they should just call them turkey strips. you know, like it's not actually bacon because bacon actually comes from a pig, from a certain area of the pig, and turkeys don't have that area. Like, mm-mm. now I'll put Chris out of carrot murderer. I'll pull Chris out of lurking, right? I don't know. Chris looks kind of wiry. I don't know if he'd be so easy to murder. Yeah, everything's too expensive these days. I mean, I feel so bad when like I've got all this stuff on my list for air fryer now, and I don't know. I didn't put any real food on it because I don't want the list to be too expensive for my mom, and all the money that's coming into my PayPal and everything for my birthday and other things has to go towards that $75 for my electric bill because that's due on the 30th now. So because I put 200 on it, they bumped up the due date for the rest of it, and my electric company will shut me down if I don't have that other 75. So, oh, nice, Bill. I do have potatoes. I could do that. Huh? Do potato wedges. Ooh, good idea. Thank you, Bill. If I'm feeling not lazy about the process of going through all of that, I will definitely be cutting up some potatoes. Nummies. You trying to tell us somebody else murdered the vegetables? You're just reheating them? Hold on. That one's not going away. Yeah, that was a wrong button. Whoops. Ooh, Jennifer, damn, you're gonna make me go cook something. I have a tank top on, just can't see it. Some like a whatchamacallit, the not a tank top, a shit. It's a skirt that I use. No, I'm not naked, actually. It's a skirt that I use, except instead of having the waist at the waist, it's up like over my boobs, like a dress. You just couldn't see it on camera, so it did look like I was naked. So woohoo! Everybody got a Cody looks naked shot. Yeah, no. Yeah. It did look that way, didn't it? It's like, oh shit. Now, if I had been sitting up straight, you would have seen the it's gray. So you might not have seen it. I don't know, but um like the waist part is up on my at my chest. Yeah, I'm wearing my birthday suit. And there goes TG lying again. Guess I should have ended the show when I said it was gonna, because now everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, God, Cody was naked on camera." I was not. Just look that way. No, you can't. You've rubbed your eyes out before. Oh. I'm starting to look like Quasimodo because I sit hunched over all the time. Jennifer, fuck you. Except I don't lie. So if I was sitting here naked, I would just say I'm sitting here naked, but actually not. Skirt. The thing is really ready for the trash though because it's old. I got it when I was in Florida. Lane Bryant actually. It was a maxi skirt, so I wear it up higher and it works like a little dress or like a sleeveless muumuu. Well, then you go right ahead and do that, TG. All right, we got 2 minutes. So anybody else that has more links they want to drop, go right ahead. Yeah, and it's lightweight, so it's nice here in South Carolina when it gets hot. That way I don't have to worry about constrictive clothing. Ha ha, dibble, bitch. They don't sag that much. Damn. 1 minute, people. Link drop if you got them. Final call. You too, Carolyn. I love you, girl. I love you too, Dibble. Bitch. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming and playing with me today and hanging out with me. It was fun. I enjoyed my time, but I am exhausted and I need to lay down. My back is screaming at me. It is time to stretch out. So I will see you all around the tube. I will be doing a pop up live sometime tomorrow. I'm really not sure if it'll be in the afternoon or if it'll be at night. I don't know. Oh, don't forget, Mr. Jim is on tonight. He did a couple of lives yesterday, but he'll also be on tonight. And I will be popping on at some point in time on my birthday so we can party. And we'll see how long that one goes. I have no idea. Stay dressed all. Being dressed is no fun. I love you guys. I'll see you around the tube. Bye.